Hello and welcome to
Hello.
another episode of Indian.net. So, in this series, we are going to start with AWS DevOps. So, basically, we are going to learn what is DevOps, how it works, and how you can do the things with AWS. So, in this session, we have our speaker Rajkumar Jain, and you are very well aware of Rajkumar Jain. Who is he? So, but I would like Rajkumar to tell something about uh, himself and give a brief introduction, and then stage yours. Thank you, Rajkumar.
Thank you, Rajat. Good morning, all. Good afternoon, good evening, whoever from the global community. We are software developer community who is just taking a session every week. It's a free of cost to help our colleagues to get the understanding of the new technologies, new tools, new cultures, whatever the coming into the market. So myself, Rajkumar Jain, I'm taking a session for on a DevOps. I'm a C Sharp Corner MVP and AWS Community Builder. And today I will start with the our first session where I will give you the brief introduction about the DevOps. What is DevOps? How we can use it in our project? How we can use it into to get benefit of the DevOps in our uh, project and the day-to-day life. Okay, guys. So let's start. Rajat,
Yeah,
is it okay? Yep.
yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay, so let me share my screen first and then we'll start and give you the details about how we can use it DevOps. Okay, what is
Perfect.
DevOps? So I hope my screen is visible, guys.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so today we have a first session about DevOps. So let's start. So guys, instead of giving a brief detail, let me discuss first what is DevOps and why we people are like nowadays everyone is going on the DevOps side. So DevOps is nothing but it's not a tool. It's just like a way of working, or we can say there's such a culture of the transformation more than the technology. So if you're not much aware, so let discuss in the detail first. But still, I just want to tell you like DevOps is not a tool. DevOps is just like a culture which we can use and we can implement in our day-to-day activity to shorten our delivery time. So it's not as I said, it's not a technology or a product, but to implement it, we are using those things, those technology in product one. So using a DevOps, we need a culture in our behavior. We have to change like how we can do the things in an automated way. So when we are talking about the automated way, in that way, we are also talking about the stability of our product and the performance of our product. And we need a speedy delivery. So whenever we are implement any product, so as soon as possible, we want to make it in a market. So for that, we are trying to adopt such a culture where my developer is start working on it, and once it is completed in a agile manner or in a waterfall manner, whatever the methodology you are using for your development, as soon as possible it should be available in the market also. So once we adopt such kind of culture, yes, we are in a DevOps. Okay, so in the DevOps side, there are two kind of teams is involved. One is the development team. Second is the operational team. Development team who is developing their code, they want to be uh, to to deliver their product as soon as possible. Again, but the operational side team who is looking your infrastructure, your application performance, scalability of your applications, they are monitoring continuously monitoring your applications. If they are finding something glitchy, something wrong in your application, they immediately inform you. You will fix it. You don't have that much time. Like you fix the product in a week time or in a month time, so it will not adoptable in the market. So what you will do, as soon as your operational team initiate the issue, you fix it within a day, within a 2 3 days, and make it live. So this kind of transformation every company wants in their culture. Okay. So now you are aware what is DevOps or how the DevOps culture is. So we have a very renowned person, it's a Ben Rockwood. He said, bottom up talk DevOps is a world view which is involving the three major component. First, the collaboration between the peoples, between the teams. Then second is the convergence of your process. And third one is the creation of the exploitation of tools. So creation and exploitation of the tool, it means the tool which are available in the market. If they are not compatible with your requirement, create a new tool, create a new feature in that in particular tools. If it is not available, create your own methodology or way of working by which you can achieve your target or which or you can achieve your DevOps part. So these kind of three components majorly depend, and we if we are trying to adopt DevOps, then we have to always think on these three components. So collaboration between peoples, it means you have a development team, you have a DevOps, you have an operational team. The person should be collaborated. They need to discuss every day in every call, and whatever the issues are there in the operational side, whatever the developer are facing when they are trying to deliver try to go live, they need to discuss every day. And this is how we can achieve our targets, and how we can strengthen our process, how we can shorten our process and make it the way of working by which the developer work go live within a day, within a week, in whatever the process, like whatever the timing you have defined. So as soon as possible, we should make a market live our product. So what are the benefits of DevOps? So what it will do, it will reduce your tribal knowledge. Tribal knowledge, it means the methodology, the way you are working in the past, where we are to do like in the past we are working on a waterfall model where we are not much aware about the output. We are just working on the requirement side. We can't patch in the things in between in our product. We are and we just try to complete the process step by steps process. But nowadays we are working in the agile methodology where we can uh, we can adopt and whatever the new changes or whatever the new demands come into a picture, we can accommodate in between in our product life cycle. So we should what we need to do now, we are just removing those tribal knowledge and adopt the new modern technology or modern things which are present and by which we can achieve our goal, or we can say the we can achieve our DevOps part as soon as possible. So this is one first. Second is the consistency. So once your pipelines, or we can say the once your process is defined, you not no need to worry about every time, like whatever how it will go live, or how it you will build your product, build your application, how it will test, how it will deploy to the different environment. So once your process is defined, then it will come in the consistency part. So not bother about those part. Once you define your process, it will reduce the repeatability. You what once it is done, then you can continue going continuously, and the same process you can once the process is defined, then it will go smoothly every time until and up till there is no major changes are there. Fourth benefit, it will speed up your process. Then reclaim your time and focus. It means once you have like your process is automated, not manual activities involved, then you have enough time to focus on other activities, or focus on the improvement of your processes, focus on your improvement of the development side. And last not the least, the empowering your non-IT staff. Because once your process is defined, non-IT staff also can trigger your processes, because there no coding knowledge is required at that moment, because there are multiple pipelines, they have to just monitor it, they have to just trigger it, and there's just non-IT staff also can do such kind of activity. Okay. So as we discussed, DevOps is just like a culture. So let's understand what is culture first. So culture is the belief, the customs, the arts of a particular society or group or the place for the time. It is also, we can say, the particular society that has its own belief and way of working, way of life, and way of processes to define. Third, we can say the way of thinking also and behaving and working that exists in the place or organization. This is what we call culture. So culture is an output, not an input. So input is your thought, input is your way of working, input is your belief. But once you are doing in those activity, whatever the output is, it is called culture. So culture we can't buy, and is not about the buying a new technology and we feel like we are in the particular culture. No, culture, it's your behavior, it's your way of thinking. So it is not a technology, but technology can play a part to adopt a particular culture. Just like we can say the agile methodology we are adopting nowadays, so it is a culture. There are multiple tools are available, multiple technologies are available. On the basis of those technology we are trying to adopt those culture. Okay. So DevOps culture and patterns and anti-patterns, I just want try to explain here. So design of failure, system thinking, agile of for infrastructure, agile for agile, lean, scrum, Kanban. These are different terminologies which we are using for the DevOps culture. Okay. So next, I just want to start like how we can start with the DevOps. So DevOps always start with the people because culture, people define culture should be there. So how we can start with the people? So for that we have to start with some steps. We should breaking down the barriers between the teams. So as I said, there are multiple teams are involved, multiple development teams are there, multiple operational teams are there when you are working on a large applications. So you should break down those barriers between those teams and empires. Then you should define the new roles, new titles, and new responsibility in the shared manner between the teams and between the people also. Capturing and converting tribal knowledge, as I said, like you just capture, you just understand what are the existing process or what are the tribal process they are using now, and how we can convert those into the modern one. So this kind of activity start with the people. Ensuring focus on business service and not technology. Always you should focus on your business requirement. Technology we can change anytime, we can adopt any technology anytime, but end goal should be your business service, what you have to deliver on time. Before like market requirement, once it is in the like you should be the market leader with your requirement, you should lead the market. So this kind of thinking you should involve, and you should start with your people. Building trust between your teams, between your peoples, each other via technology, by involving them in a process, multiple process, by sharing their knowledge with each other. So these are the basic, or we can say the very highly effective habits which we should use in the DevOps. So establish between trust and transparency between your development and the operational team. See everything should through the eyes of your customer, so they can, with the help of tools they can always monitor what is going on. Streamline your application delivery pipeline, how much process you can automate and streamline the process, because manual intervention should not be there. So how, as much as possible, you should automate the process. Adopt a loosely coupled methodology, where like once tool is not available, or we can want to change some tool with the other tool, then it should be adoptable, it should be easily adopt, and we can say the easily coupled with other technology or other tools. So we always focus on the loosely coupled. Service oriented architecture should be there. and reward the solution and simplicity with the reliability. Adopt and improve how you use your customer experience data, and dev and ops need to walk and talk in others' shoes. So once they can identify like what are the operational challenges are there after the deployment of your applications, they can easily understand the pain of the operational team. The same way, operational team should also involve with the development team, and they can understand what are the challenges development team are facing at the time of development of the particular features or the things which they are facing at the time of operational. Okay,
Hey
so now
Rajkumar,
yeah.
meanwhile, one question came. What is SOA? Could you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, so SO is just a service oriented architecture where like nowadays most of the applications process we can say the tools are using on the service orient on the basis of service oriented architecture. It's just like they are using microservices. They are implementing the microservices which will be used by the multiple teams, multiple applications, multiple technologies. So those are like it should be again it's a loosely coupled. So right now you paid the license fees of the particular services, and you can easily adopt it and easily use it. But once your license is expired, you are disconnected with the service. So service oriented architecture now is the future, and we can say not as the future. Right now, the modern technology are working on the service oriented architecture only. So SOA is the best and easily adopt technology, as and when you want to make any changes in your service, easily adoptable by any other service, and not required the downtime also. Because once you are making any changes in your service, existing service, customer can use, and parallelly you can create a new service. Once it is tested and all, you can easily replace your existing service with the new one. So this is how the service oriented architecture is working. I hope I answer your question, Rajat. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, Rajat. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
So let's just discuss like how we can start. Like these are the challenging part for the company who is trying to adopt the DevOps culture. So first question is coming to mind: how we can start the DevOps in our company? How we can start the transformation between the team? How we can transform our application in the DevOps culture? So first of all, you have to improve the education part. You have to give the training to your associates, start the communication on the DevOps culture, make the cross skilling culture between your teams. Then evaluate the new processes to support the DevOps in your existing environment. Reevaluate and rebuild your services delivery cycle, because maybe right now your delivery cycle is the quarterly basis or the monthly basis. But how we can reduce the time of delivery of the new features? So we have to think on it once you are trying implementing the DevOps transformation. Then evaluate the new tech which support your environment, as I said. So you have to evaluate all those and try to implement with the very small pieces. Try with the very small start with a very small piece of work in your organization. Then start with the uh, then go with the major one. So start with the small piece of work, do the some POCs, see it is adoptable in your organization, in your culture or not, and then start with the new project. And then this is how you can transform DevOps in your organization. These are the very basic tool. These are the very basic and popular tool in the DevOps side to implement DevOps culture in your organization, in your project. So first of all, the Jenkins. Jenkins is a very popular tool. It's come up with the multiple versions. Multiple version. I mean to say, it is available in the free of cost. Means open source are also available for the Jenkins, but enterprise also. So you can, as per your need, you should start with the open source first. And if you are working in a very secure and we can say the stable module, or in any banking kind of applications, then you should go for the enterprises version. Ansible mostly used for the infrastructure, DevOps processes, Git for the source control, and Terraform to when you are working in the multi-cloud environment, then mostly people use the Terraform. And SSH for the when you are working in the Linux in operating system and want to connect with the one Linux machine with the another ones without passwordless authentication, then we should use the SSH. So these are the very basic tools, as I said. But yes, we will discuss in the upcoming lectures in the detail one. So this is just the definition which I have given for the DevOps. So DevOps is not something you can buy; it's something you have to do, and you have to do it yourself. So let's start from how we can achieve. So very first thing, what we need to do once you are starting development, developing a, or we can say the transforming your culture in the DevOps culture. So first of all, whatever the applications, whatever the development part you are doing, it should be version control or it should be source control. Why it is required? Because we all know multiple team members are working on the same line of code, maybe same line of features, same line of same application, I can say. So it may be possible it will disturb your whatever the line of code you have written. So you should have a version control, you should have a source control, because uh, the same feature other team member is working, so it may reflect or it may affect your work. So source control is there, where you can easily adopt, like if the feature or the line of code he is working, we can merge easily in your whatever the line of code you are working. So it may help you to reduce the line of code, or it will, we can say the reusability concept is should be there, where like the line of code which other team member is already developed, and we can use the same line of code for other feature or other we can, line of process, where like the same concept we need to use. So this is the where the source control is required. Version control is required when you are deploying your applications in a different environment, and when you are going for a live, so you should be aware like which version is live right now, and which version we need to live in future. uh, and again, one version control is help you once we can say like some operational kind of issues you need to fix it. So you should be aware like this version is working on a live, and these bugs are belongs to this particular version. So first fix to that to bug into the particular version, and the same line of code implementation in the your existing working. So this is how we can achieve the source and version control. So these are the definition, like we all know the change in inevitable, and we believe that the changes is for the betterment. Thus the changes happen day in out to everything and anything. So it is extremely important for a program to maintain the history of the changes to the program as artifacts, and which is we can call the version control. So this is the basic definition, but I have just given you the some live example where we should use why we are required the source and version control. So the source control is to manage the changes in the project in your line of code, whatever you are doing, the documents, sorry, environment and the configuration and anything else. So this is how the source control is working. So DevOps principle is to version control everything, whatever you are doing, which undergoes the changes during the life cycle of the development, so that the changes are not missed out in any ways for anybody in the project. And if someone is coming into the newcomer coming to your project, he can also easily understand what is going on. You can just give the development source control to start working with. The primary difference from the agile and to DevOps is that in agile practice, we have seen only the development team following version control for their code and releases and documentation. But DevOps introduced version control for operational also. As I said, so version control, you are like operation team also aware like which version is live, what are the bugs are there in the particular versions of code and a version particular application version, and they are asking us as a developer like you should fix these bugs into this particular version. It has been identified that a high number of failures defects are not only real due to the bad code but due to misconfiguration. So this statement stressed the requirement of version control in the production environment on configuration and infrastructure also, which are a deliverable as a script. So infrastructure deliverable is a script as a, we can say the infrastructure as a code where we are either using the Ansible or the Terraform. In the DevOps practice, it started version controlling the deployment scripts, environment configurations, infrastructures. So here you can see the multiple things we are doing with the DevOps practice. And even earlier, they used to follow the version controlling for only code and documentation. But nowadays, they are also include the controlling the automation scripts, installation scripts, and migration script in the for the operation side. We can say so. That's why the DevOps is a scope is expanded now. So, what are the benefits for the version control? So I already explained in a practical way of version control, but let's see, discuss like first of all, version control ensures the dev in source control and operational in the source control. And beauty of the DevOps is both of them are in the source control. So if you are working on a infrastructure as a code script and you are doing the automation of those line of code, those are also in the source control. So whatever the changes you are doing in your scripts, it is it you can watch and you can all like you can have artifacts of all those changes. The same source control tool, and hence everyone can see what is there in your source and what is in your versions, so clearly and transparently, and you can show and anyone can see also. So this enables the team to work together, have transparency, and collaborate with each other. This also brings the team and their work under one umbrella and one tool. It prevents the team members from following their own knowledge, information, and code to use. Source control helps to understanding the between the differences between versions and also the purpose of making these changes, because multiple applications are working for a different client for the different versions. So source control helps to understanding between like differences between versions and the purpose of making those changes. And version control helps in carrying out development in parallel and managing the merges. So as I said, like for example, your 1.3 version application is live, and right now you are working in the 1.7 version in the development side. Some issues are occurring in your 1.3 versions and you want to fix those. So whatever the changes or whatever the bugs you fixed in the 1.3, you can easily merge into your existing development version of 1.7. So this is how you can merge the things, and easily you can fix the issue by default in your development also. So more than one person can work in the same code of a script or document, or by picking the base code from the source control and by taking a copy of them on their local machines and then merging back to the master. Once the changes are done, so in case of any conflicts in the changes between two people, the two will throw the error and highlight the area of conflict. In automation, in the way of automation script, you can also indicates or you can notify your developers like whatever the changes you have done. Just because of that, this line of code is showing the errors in the before going to the live, or we can say before deployment into different environment, it will give the notification this line of bugs are there in your existing code. Please fix it before moving ahead. So this kind of notifications or things we can, with the help of DevOps, we can achieve. So before going in a minor higher version, or we can say the lower environment deployment side, you already got to know like these are the bugs are there in your existing code line of code. So you should fix it before going to the next environment or next deployment cycle. So version control makes the debugging of the software deployment failures and the production issues very fast, because the team can go back to the previous version and check what is the difference in case of any failure and to fix it very fast. So hence the identification of the production issues become easy and fast with the help of version control. So what to automate in your pipeline or in your process? So as a DevOps team, we need to identify what are the development processes we can automate, what are the operational processes, what are the in between, like the testing also is there, UAT is also there, user acceptance test is also there. So there are multiple life cycles are there which we can automate. So let's focus on what are the automate part and how to automate it. So what to automate? So it is a build trigger, compiling and the building of your deploying or installing, automation of infrastructure setup as a code of a script, environment configuration as a coded script. These led to the mention testing and post deployment life performance monitoring in life cycle, log monitoring, monitoring alerts, pushing notification to the live, pushing notification to the your lower environment also to the developer, and getting alerts from the live in case of any major or any errors are occur and warnings are there. So all these things need to be automated. But overall, DevOps enables every activity of development and the operational side wherever the possible way and whichever is automatable, whichever is repeatable, wherever accuracy is demanded, whichever takes a long time is automate. Nevertheless, if we don't mention the tools to be used for automation, the discussion on automation is incomplete. So we need to identify the tools also to make our process automate. So selection of a right framework and the automation tool is the key requirement of your automation in DevOps. So as I said, like multiple company are working on a multiple different tools or applications. Few of the applications are working on the infrastructure side. Few of the tools are tools or applications are working on a development tools or applications. So we need to identify first of all which kind of automation tool is required in our culture, in our environment, and without that we is your automation is incomplete. So benefits of the automation in DevOps. So first of all, it will help you to remove your manual errors upfrontly before moving to the next environment. So in the development environment itself, you can find identify the errors. Team members are empowered because you will get the fixes or the issues upfrontly before going into the pipelines, or we can say the next environment. We can remove the dependencies on a manual activities, on a manual interventions, on a manual develop, quality control side. We can remove lots of dependencies from your pipeline using the automation from the pipeline. Latency is removed, increase of number of deliveries, because once the automations is there and the dependencies are decreased, we can increase our deliveries, number of deliveries, because many small uh, features or fixes we can easily deliver within a minute or within an hour or within a day. It will reduce the lead time of development, it will increase the frequency of the releases, provide the faster feedback. As and when you developed your line of code and build it, you will get the feedback easily on a same time. If any bugs are there, if any quality check is required before pushing to the next environment. So this is how you can foster your delivery, or you will get the faster feedback of your code. It will enable your speed, reliability, and consistency of the delivery. So in short, the automation in DevOps ultimately encapsulates everything right from the building to deployment till monitoring. Any questions till now, Rajat, or anyone who is there?
I'm not seeing any question on in the chat. If anyone has any question, please put in the chat.
Okay, thank you. So now we can understand like what is automate, what is DevOps, and how we can initiate the culture of DevOps in your project, in your organization, in your working environment. So first of all, we have to start with the continuous integration. Continuous integration is nothing but whatever the source control, whatever the version control, whatever the codes line of code you have implemented, it should be integrated somewhere to start the process of your automation or your DevOps process. So continuous integration is nothing but it's a set of processes and which we'll use for the building a pipeline. So continuous integration is we can shortly use the CI in the DevOps is in the important process of the set of processes which is defined and carried out as a part of your pipeline. So in your pipeline, the first part of is the called we can say the CI, and we can say the build pipeline. Continuous integration in the DevOps is nothing but merging the individual developer's code line of code into the master copy of your code, because multiple developers are working in the multiple features pipeline feature branches of your code. Once those features are developed, you want to be merged into the master branch or master copy of your code. So main branch where the version control is maintained, there is a no restrictions or no number of times for the code merge that needs to be happen in a day. This is the beauty of your in continuous integration. So once your features is developed, one of the developer can merge those line of code after testing, local testing in your development environment, and merge your code into the master branch. So the CI process includes the merging of your all the developers code into the main line of code or main line of branch, or we can say the master copy of your code. Then trigger the build. So why trigger the build? Because once you are merging your code, maybe it will overlap of other developers code. Maybe it may create a duplicate line of code. So once you are triggering a build, it will give all those kind of notification instantly, and with the help of that those feedback you can clear out whatever the change required recommendations are there with the help of tool, compiling the code and making a build, and lastly carrying out the unit test cases in the continuous integration. So this is what the continuing integration, and I hope in our upcoming lectures, I will give you the some line of practical lab session also, so you will get the easily understand like what is the and how we can use the continue we can do the continuous integration. But right now, I am not talking about any particular tool. I am not talking about any technology here. I am just talking about the basic terminology, basic things by which we can adopt the DevOps. So this is the one of the part of your DevOps is the continuous integration. These are the benefits. So as I said, like whenever you are adopting any new things, we are adopting because of some benefits are there, right? So continuous integration give us the automated process, hence the minimize the human errors by reducing the long and bug inducing manual merges. Any number of people can check their code and any number of times in a day without waiting for others to complete their coding. Wait till they finish their check-in and later check-in. So CI removes the dependency or remove the waiting time of other check-ins. Team members need not have to wait for other team members to finish their check-in, and hence allows to work in parallel. This is the beauty of your continuous integration. Since the entire process of building and testing runs over a few seconds to minutes, the feedback on the individual codes is very quick. Immediately you will get the notification or the error line of code, what is going wrong in your line of code, and we need to have to run, not have to run around to find whose code has broken, because it will easily identify or induce the defect. As the every check-in, it gives the success or failure output indicating the area of failure in, if there is any failure. And you can automate those notifications also by sending email to your individual developer or your development teams. Okay, so now we understand what is the continuous integration. Now second part is the continuous delivery, but in between there are uh, multiple things are there. We can say the QA quality checks are there. After the continuous integration, build and deployment is required. But continuous delivery is the second side of your DevOps, where the mostly the operational teams are involved. So continuous delivery is the important process of delivering the software updates to production in a smaller increments, ensuring that the software can be released at any time. With the approach of DevOps, the team will be already ready to, on we can say, the delivery in any time into the production. So these are the benefits. Increase the number of deliveries. We can, in a single day you can do the multiple deliveries. Minimize the risk of failure, because most of the things you already covered in your continuous integration, and the quality check side time. Reduce the manual work because you already automated all those things. It increases confidence between the teams, because as I said, like most of the 90% part of your delivery you already done in your uh, continuous integration in the quality check side. But here, whatever the package is there, the proper package, after doing all those quality checks and testing, you will get a proper package to deliver. Enables the team to automate everything and enable faster feedback. So that's it, guys, for today's sessions from my end. I hope I try to give you all the details which is required. But let me know if you have anything, if you have any comment, if you have any questions regarding the things. I will try to answer your question as soon as possible.
Hey, thank you, Rajkumar. And just wanted to let you know, all you guys, like this is like the first part of the series. There might be multiple sessions going forward in which you will see more practical things like how to use this DevOps in your day-to-day life in your project. So that would involve. Firstly, we'll start with AWS, and then later on, it might be possible we will go with other uh, tools like Azure and anything else. So yeah. With that said, I would like to say a big thank you to Rajkumar for his valuable time and sharing the knowledge across the community. And hopefully, like this session would be helpful someone. And let's hope for the next sessions really soon, which will give
So
you
I would
more.
like to just introduce about the next session. Like guys, I will cover the.
Mhm.
Now we discuss about the DevOps today. We got to know about the DevOps things, why, how it is benefited, what are the basic component of the DevOps. So next session I will cover the AWS code pipeline, and how we can implement those things there. So AWS also have a DevOps pipeline. So code commit is there, build pipeline is there, and code deployment, code build there. So I will cover the code commit first in the next sessions, and then gradually we will go with the next sessions, and we will try to cover all AWS DevOps. So AWS DevOps is a different things. DevOps come into a multiple way. So there are AWS DevOps is a different one. Azure DevOps is a different one. So cloud wise, there are different DevOps are there, and there is a general DevOps is there, where you are using the open sources and independent tools. So I will try to cover those independent tools later. But in the next series, in the upcoming series, we will cover the AWS DevOps. So in the AWS DevOps, we will cover AWS code commit, AWS build and pipelines. That's it. Yep.
Perfect. So with that said, I will say happy weekend to all of you, and most probably, like I'm not sure, like I will check and reconfirm. There might be a session tomorrow itself on the same time, so we will confirm on that on our WhatsApp group and Facebook page. But yeah, thank you very much, Rajkumar, and everyone who attended. Hopefully, this
Thank
session
you,
will be
everyone.
helpful.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We will shortly come with the next session on the AWS DevOps.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Rajat.
Thank
And
you.
I hope you will come up with a few new questions in the next session. And we will try to cover all those questions.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Perfect.
everyone. Bye
Perfect.
bye.
Bye bye.